to get a detailed view of coastal water conditions. Glimmer will provide precise measurements of ocean ecosystems in the Gulf of Mexico, parts of the U.S. coastline, and the Amazon River. These markers can be used to detect coral bleaching and red tide, and will help decision makers rapidly respond to coastal disasters, like an oil spill. Back here on the ground, RTX is optimizing technologies that predict stream flow and flooding to better understand drought and other water quality challenges. Our goal is to help communities become a more climate-ready nation.
These are just a few innovations we're working on to help protect our oceans and our planet. We've already seen a tremendous level of teamwork, ingenuity, and enthusiasm from this season's First Tech Challenge teams. It's truly inspiring, and we look forward to seeing more of your STEM skills in action. You should be so proud of your accomplishments, no matter the result of today's event. I know we truly are. Best of luck, teams.
Thank you, RTX. Being a first team member means access to education, career, discovery opportunities through things such as industry certifications, internships, and scholarships. First offers you the opportunity to network with employers and a place in the First community for life. Learn more about all of the ways to make the most of your First experience at firstinspires.org/alumni. Let's quickly hear from some other alumni about their experiences.
I am an educator.
I'm a CEO.
I'm building the future of dual-use tech companies.
I'm a robotics professor, an engineer, and a former contestant on Survivor.
I'm a manufacturing engineer.
I am a builder.
I'm a First alum.
I'm a First alum.
First alum. I am proud to be a First alum.
And now, while we're here, let's take a moment to recognize a group of leaders in the First community and on your teams, the First alumni and high school seniors. Would all First alumni here please stand? Come on, First alumni, who are you? All right. Thank you for all that you do to continue the further mission of First and inspire the next generation. For some of you, Into the Deep may be your final season competing with First. We would like to take a moment to recognize all of those who will soon be First alumni. Would all students in their final year of high school please stand up? All you seniors. You are becoming First alumni now too, and we look forward to seeing what you do next. I want to also take a moment today to recognize and thank all the parents, coaches, mentors, and volunteers who helped to make today's events possible. Thank you. We also ask all of you today to honor the First ethos, gracious professionalism. This means doing your best work, and at the same time, we're going to respect and value the other students, teams, and volunteers here. Today is where all the hard work you've put into building and programming your robots comes to life in thrilling competition. Good luck. Now I'd like to introduce you to a few other groups of very important people. First off, our judges. Most of you have probably already met them today, but if our judges would please come through so we can give them a big round of applause. These individuals have the difficult job of singling out the best from today's teams. They've already been busy this morning interviewing teams and reviewing team information. They'll be in the pits, watching matches, and then deliberating later today. We look forward to seeing the outcome of their hard work at the awards ceremony this afternoon. Next, I'd like to introduce you to the First Technical Advisors, or FTAs, our AV crew and robot inspectors. So let's give it out to our volunteers in the background. Our technical volunteers know the ins and outs of the robot control system we use to run this competition and are key to keeping the event moving smoothly. They ensure the robots are running properly on the field. Thank you. And finally, I'd like to introduce our referees. Our referees have the difficult job of ensuring everyone is playing by the rules. As in all sports, their rulings are final, and there will be no reruns or video replays. Please help us stick to the schedule by respecting their decisions and directing questions to the question boxes, which are located near the fields. Thank you, referees. Lastly, we'd like to once again thank our mentors and coaches who are critical to our students' learning experience and our team success. Many of you are also mentoring teams from one of our other FIRST programs and may even be FIRST alumni yourself. On behalf of FIRST, a big thank you to all the mentors and coaches. A few minutes ago, I mentioned gracious professionalism, and who better to help further explain this core value of FIRST than our very own Dean's List Award winner.
Gracious professionalism is the positive, kind, and respectful way in which we treat each other. It's the reason that the FIRST community is so special.
It's about balancing competition and cooperation, and it's all about cooperating in a time of manner. While even though there's stress, even though there's conflicts, we should always be in a respectful and kind manner to no matter who we are talking to.
In a FIRST setting, it's being nice to your teammates and being willing to lend a helping hand, even if you know, next match you may be competing against them.
Our team tries to use gracious professionalism as an event by always supporting other teams, be willing to lend parts to others, and showing kindness to others no matter the outcome of a match.
I was competing against another team and they had forgot to charge their battery. So I had one that was fully charged and I handed it to them because I wanted it to be a fair match and to make sure that
When I go to school, sometimes we have group projects and they're a little bit tough, and gracious professionalism can really help me through that with the collaboration and feedback sessions.
We can, build sort of this ecosystem where everyone is happy and everyone's respecting each other and flourishing together as a family.
Thank you to our Dean's List Award winners. Now a few housekeeping things, starting with our schedule for the day. In just a few moments, we will begin our qualification matches. Following qualifications, we'll move on to alliance selection, where the top-ranked teams will pick their alliance partners for this afternoon's playoff matches. Then, during playoff matches, we will hand out awards, ending with our event winner awards and Inspire awards. Next up, we're going to address some safety issues. First off, if you could please take a look around and locate your nearest emergency exit. Inside the gym here, they are all around the walls. You can't miss them. Make sure, though, if you were in the pits, that you take a look where your closest emergency exit is. I would also like to point out that an AED is located on the far right wall. Please, again, make sure you are wearing safety glasses and closed-toed shoes in the pit and when around the field. Teams, when you are queuing for your matches, please make sure when you are going to the tables that you're going around the back. You guys can't see it as well from the from the bleachers, I apologize. But there is a big stack of bins back there. If you are headed to field 2, please make sure you go behind the bins, not between the crew and the bins, okay? In addition to physical safety, let's also take a moment to talk about emotional or psychological. Everyone here deserves to have a safe, nurturing, and fun experience. If something or someone is making you feel uncomfortable, please find a trusted adult and ask for help. We are a community who looks out for each other, so if you see someone who might be struggling, please check in with them and see how you can help. Thank you for helping make this a safe and enjoyable event for all. Before we begin the matches, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Teams, are you ready? Attention. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Hey guys, just a reminder to please make sure you turn off all mobile hotspots that are not that you aren't. Please turn off your mobile hotspots and Wi-Fi. Thank you. Check. Good morning, check. I'm gonna turn back to the field though now. Check. I think we're okay. Never mind. Check. Checking. Good morning. Good morning. I'm not. No. All right, let's meet the teams in qualification match number 1 here at the Lakeshore Qualifier. On the Blue Alliance, we start off with team 16746, the Atlanteans. And with them, team 15382, I'm Not a Robot. Over here on the Red Alliance, we have team 19927, Duke's Robotics. And team 24543, the BCFR FTC Innovation School. All right, match number 1 begins in 3, 2, 1, go. And that begins the autonomous period for this match number 1. Run robot from each team moving over to their baskets. For the Red Alliance, looks like attempt for the high basket. Unfortunately, that sample falls into the low basket. For the Blue Alliance side, they're successful in getting that sample into the high basket. Red Alliance going to try and get another sample up into that high basket. It is a neutral sample, and that does make it into the high basket.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
Tally-up has now begun for these teams on the field. Drivers are in control of their robots currently. On the Red Alliance side, trying to grab a sample from the designated sample zone. They are successful in doing so. Blue Alliance side, a neutral specimen in hand, headed over to their basket. Red Alliance, another sample trying to get into that basket. Blue Alliance lining up with the neutral. I'm Not a Robot has a neutral sample in hand, trying to get it into their robot properly so that they can score it into the basket. Their alliance partner for the Blue Alliance trying to pick up another sample. These first matches always are teams figuring out exactly how they want to play the game for the remainder of the day. Another neutral sample getting scored for the Red Alliance into that high basket from Duke's Robotics. Trying to pick up another Red Alliance specific sample. Red sample going for that high basket, and it is scored successfully. Duke's Robotics lining up with their observation zone. The observation zone exists for the human player to be able to place new samples onto the field. Another score into the high basket from the Red Alliance. Duke's Robotics doing the most they can. Unfortunately, a sample has been dropped into their robot from their team member. That song means 30 seconds remain. Endgame is now in effect. Teams have the opportunity to go near the submersible and climb those rungs. 15 seconds remain. No robots currently on the rungs. It looks like I'm Not a Robot's going to try and line themselves up. 5 seconds remaining. All right, while we wait for the results from qualification match number 1, let's meet our teams over here on field 2 for match number 2. On the Blue Alliance, we have team 6985, Droid Rage Rewired. And with them, team 24511, Tiger Octobots. Over here on the Red Alliance, we have team 6426, the Robo Hodegs. And with them, team 551, KISS. And we have results from match number 1. It is a... It is a Red Alliance winner with a score of 98-23. All right, we are thumbs up over here on field number 2 for qualification match number 2. The match begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Robots moving 1 from each alliance. A specimen scored for the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance did make an attempt. Unfortunately, it did not make it on. Yes, for the Red Alliance, lining up with a second specimen for that high rung, and they do so successfully. A third attempt, unfortunately, falls outside of the field. 3 seconds remaining in the autonomous period.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
And that begins the teleoperated period. Drivers are now in control of their robots. Fortunately, on the Blue Alliance side, it looks like one robot struggling with some connectivity issues. Hopefully they can get that figured out before the end of the match, and it looks like they do so successfully. Hodegs getting a neutral sample scored into their high basket. Alliance KISS grabbing a red specimen from inside the submersible zone, bringing it to their human player who can attach clips to it in order to make them specimens. Those specimens are worth more points onto those rungs. Blue Alliance side, the Tiger Octobots going for the high basket, neutral sample in hand. And they successfully score it, but look like they're a little stuck on the basket. Hopefully they can get themselves off of that to continue scoring, and they do so. Red Alliance Kiss going for another specimen. 3 already on that high rung. Blue Alliance side, Droid Rage Rewire trying to do the same thing. 2 currently on the high rung. 1 now scored on the low rung for the Blue Alliance. Robo Hodegs, neutral sample in hand, lining back up with their baskets. Blue Alliance Tiger Octobots doing the same, getting another sample into their low basket. 45 seconds remaining in this match. Red having multiple specimens scored onto that high rung. Will Kiss comes back with another one. It looks like that will be 6 now. Gonna try and line it up without knocking their other ones off. Red Rage grabbing another blue one. 30 seconds remain in the match. Teams do now have the option climb onto the rungs if they choose to do so for some bonus points. "15 seconds remain as Kiss lines up with one more specimen, getting it on there successfully. Now headed over towards their rungs. The Blue Alliance Tiger Octobots doing the same. Droid Rage Rewired on that low rung, trying to get themselves up if they can. 3 seconds remaining. 2, 1. While we wait for those results, let's take a look at this year's First Tech Challenge Into the Deep video sponsored by RTX.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2024 to 2025 season game, Into the Deep, presented by RTX. 2 alliances of 2 teams each compete to retrieve and score samples into net zones, low baskets, and high baskets. Human players assemble clips onto samples to create specimens, which can be scored on the low chambers or high chambers. Each match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. Following auto is the 2-minute teleoperated period. The last 30 seconds of teleop is the end game. Robots may continue scoring samples and specimens, but can earn additional points by contacting the low rung, achieving a low-level ascent or high-level ascent, or parking in the observation zone. The alliance that earns the most points wins the match.
Team 10760, Raiders of the Lost Bot. And Team 26552, Shipwrecked. All right, qualification match number 3 begins in 3, 2, 1, go. That begins autonomous period. All 4 robots moving for these different alliances. On the Blue Alliance, Fear the Gear, high basket. Unfortunately, their attempt for a second one does miss. Red Alliance side looks like 1 parked over in the observation zone, 1 over in the net zone. Fear the Gear going for a third, or what would have been the 3rd sample. That one is scored successfully. For another attempt at a sample, their robot completely autonomous. The students had to program this to do that, and a 3rd sample is scored before the end
Drivers,
of autonomous.
pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
Teleop has begun for these drivers, now in control of their robots. Blue Alliance, both robots moving around the field. Fear the Gear going to try and get a specimen from their team player, pushing samples into that observation zone. Raiders of the Lost Bot on the Red Alliance side, sample in hand, lining up with their low basket, going to try and score that in there. Shipwreck for the Red Alliance, waiting their turn patiently. Blue Alliance, Robo Wolves grabbing a sample, heading over to their high basket. Their teammates, Fear the Gear, grabbing specimen after specimen from their human player. 1 already scored on the high rung, going for a second one. They get it successfully. Robo Wolves getting another sample into their high basket. Just over a minute remaining in the match. The teams still have plenty of time to grab samples from the field to get them scored. Raiders of the Lost Spot getting another sample into their high basket. Shipwrecked, trying to line themselves up. Robo Wolves on the Blue Alliance side, grabbing a specimen from the floor, going to try and score that into that high basket as well. 4 specimens already scored by Fear the Gear onto that high rung. They're going to try and grab another sample from the submersible. They must grab an alliance, either an alliance-specific blue one or a neutral sample in order to, or it must be the blue alliance-specific sample to make a specimen. 30 seconds remaining in the match means teams are now have the option of climbing if they choose to do so. For the Blue Alliance side, Robo Wolves lining up with that low rung, getting themselves up in the air, swinging back and forth. Their teammates going to try and get another specimen on. 10 seconds remain as Fear the Gear successfully gets that specimen on, going to line themselves up with what looks like the high rung to get themselves up in the air, and they do so successfully. While the referees finish scoring up qualification match number 3, let's meet the teams over here on qualification match number 4. On the Blue Alliance, we have team 21738, Crash and Burn. And with them, team 23802, Random Engineers. On the Red Alliance side, we have team 24297, the Ghost Tigers. And team 22526, Fondi Fire Tech. And we have results from that last match. It is a Blue Alliance win, 155-31. All right, qualification match number 4 begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Red Alliance, Fondi Fire Tech lining up with that high rung. Unfortunately, their specimen does miss. Blue Alliance side, Random Engineers getting a blue specimen into their high basket. Red Alliance, Tigers lining up with that high basket, getting a neutral sample in their board. Fondi Fire Tech, another specimen in hand, lining up with that high rung. This one successfully making it on. Robots have all come to a park as teleop begins. Drivers can now pick up their controllers.
Pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
And with that, teams now in control of their robots on the field. Crash and Burn heading over to their baskets with a high sample in hand. Unfortunately, does just miss. Still on the field in the net zone, though, so worth some points. They do have the opportunity to pick that specimen or sample up and score it if they choose to do so. Ghost Tigers for the Red Alliance getting another sample up into that basket. Random Engineers scoring a sample successfully. Their teammates Crash and Burn on their way over with a sample as well. Fondi Fire Tech grabbing those red samples from the submersible zone. They must be the Alliance-specific type in order to score them as specimens. 70 seconds remaining in the match. Blue Alliance, Crash and Burn getting another sample into their high basket. Their teammates, Random Engineers, waiting patiently for their turn to score a sample as well, and they do so successfully. Get that red specimen from the autonomous period out of the submersible to score it for those extra points. 45 seconds remaining in the match. Another specimen scored for the Blue Alliance in that high basket. Ghost Tigers for the Red Alliance doing the same, lining up with another sample for that high basket. "30 seconds means endgame's team can now choose to climb onto the rungs if they choose to do so. Fondy Fire for the Red Alliance lining up, attaching another specimen to that high rung. Their teammates, Ghost Tigers, going for another sample into that high basket. Just under 15 seconds remaining in this match. Teams lining themselves up. Ghost Tigers on that low rung. Blue Alliance side looks like Random Engineers lining up with the high rung, going to try and get themselves up. Another specimen scored for the Red Alliance as 2 seconds remain. All right, we have results from that last match. It is a Red Alliance win, 96-74. All right, let's meet our teams over here at qualification match number 5. Over on the Blue Alliance, we start with team 16252, Rutro Robotics. With them, team 10100, Phoenix Force. Over on the Red Alliance, we have team 27150, Ram Robotics. And team 6984, Stempocalypse Awakened.